One of the constants of my life growing up was the idea that we were white trash proles. We were losers with no money. We didn't go on vacations. We didn't have fancy things. It's pretty obvious to kids who has stuff and who doesn't. You know, the have-not line is quite obvious among the young. And I don't think that era was as materialistic as ours is today, but we knew. We were just worker bees, not really important to American culture, not really going anywhere. Poor white trash folks. You know what I'm talking about, people. Proletarians, people who work with their bodies, sweat, don't have a lot of education. I think working class is perhaps the term that white trash prole would prefer. I guess I grew up working class. Let me say this again. I grew up working class. Working class. What does that say? We're the people who do the work. You're the people with the money. Hard to shake. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for myself anymore. Certain things about being a white trash prole have remained, however, certain psychic structures and habits. First among them, resentment. The feeling that I deserve better, man. I deserve better. And this is something that rippled through my father's life, especially toward the end of his life, with the whole, I'm going to run for union head, union steward, and I'm going to better myself. And he went to college and all this stuff, went to William Patterson, tried to better himself, which I think was phenomenal, and always I have admired and adored about him. The flip side of that is, yeah, I'm trying to improve myself, motherfuckers, so I deserve better, motherfuckers. That attitude, I find it creeping in, because I grew up around it, naturally gravitate toward it. Takes a lot of self-discipline to hear that voice and say, to hear that little piccolo in the orchestra and say, no, let's scratch that out. There's no question that I really bought the proletarian thing, hook, line, and sinker. It became part of my identity. I was working class. Even though I became an intellectual pretty early, there was still a sense that I was a working class intellectual, and those other elites, well, they all had shit handed to them. This I got from my mom, much more than my dad. But the proletarian worker thing is totally from the dad. I embraced it so much, especially in my teens. It was ridiculous. I remember my favorite professor ever, Linda Dittmar, UMass Boston. One day I told her, I'm thinking about dropping out of school. There's this job in a box factory. It pays really well. I think I can get it. And she said, Steve, no one who understands Christian Metz the way you do, French film critic, can ever call himself working class. And I think that was the beginning of really making the transition, as I should call it, or the jump, or the social climb. I guess I'm a social climber. Hey, I'm a social climber.